Welcome to Blue Tinted Glasses, the home of Leicester City talk on YouTube. Fan debates, live watch-alongs, post-match reactions, and all the Foxes banter you could ask for. Subscribe now and see the game through Blue Tinted Glasses.
Well then, Mahrez has made something of that. It's Mahrez! 2-0 to Leicester City!
Next to it, Anthony Knocker finds Wood. Wood should score. Wood West Knocker. Yes!
Here comes Leicester again with Matchday and Ibbett! Well, this is incredible.
Got Jamie Vardy with him. Jamie Vardy sets off. Jamie Vardy!
Blue Tinted Glasses, the home of Leicester City talk on YouTube.
Good morning and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses. It is match day. It's a very good morning, Foxes, today. Although it might not be tomorrow morning, but no, hopefully it is. It's the first day of Leicester's first day of the Championship season, the 25-26 season, and hopefully it's a great day. We're going to talk about lots of stuff this morning, including a certain number 9 shirt, so get ready for that. But before we get into it all, go on, I'll come to you first, Graham. 1 second. How are you, mate? What's going on?
Well, I've got COVID. Do you remember that thing that ruined the country for a couple of years?
The one.
Yeah, man, I arrived in Australia, happy as Larry. Last time I came to Australia, well, two times before I got COVID again. So it's nothing more than bad flu, but bloody hell, not good.
Yeah, they're dirty down there in Australia, aren't they, Graham? They're infected.
Well, they're all a bunch of criminals, aren't they? Yeah.
Luke is no. For the record, yeah. I don't know Luke's criminal record, to be honest. Tom, what's going on, mate? How's things with you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good to be back on air and looking forward to the season ahead. Another roller coaster of being a Leicester City fan. It must be probably.
Yeah. The roller coaster continues. Imran, how are you, mate? What's going on? Good to see
just like Tom, looking forward to the season now. Kind of went in hibernation over the summer due to work, and just needed a break from it all after the relegation. But now I'm back and ready to go for this season. Going to Preston away next week as well, so looking forward to that trip.
Just a quick one here. Steve, obviously when the news came out about who was getting the number 9 shirt yesterday, Steve said 500 likes and I'll get him on the back of my shirt. So we did a bit of retweeting on VTG and I can confirm he has sent me the proof. He has ordered the shirt, so he's going to collect that today. So well done to everybody who liked that tweet. Right, let's get into it. We're not going to talk about the shirt just yet, but first of all, Tom, I'll come to you, mate. How excited are you, mate, that the football is back? I know it's it's day 3 of the Championship, but day 1 of Leicester's season. Are you excited?
We're always excited. I think we said it earlier that the first game, back in the new season, is let's see the result at the 90th minute and then we'll see how excited we are. But look, I think after last week's performance, having seen us play live and seen the structure and how he's setting us up, as I did a match review, I'm excited about it. It is a different way of playing to what we've seen down there for a few years. And it's going to be an interesting to see how the new gaffer gets on in the Championship. He knows this league. He's been in it for 2 years and I feel that he's the right man to push us forward again.
Yeah. Imran, I mean, we've seen a few games now under Martí Cifuentes. They're meaningless. Well, when I say meaningless, they're not competitive games, the friendlies. But it's been a somewhat impressive start so far, Imran, in terms of the way we've played and some of the players as well that have been used. And you must be excited to see what's in store for the season.
Yeah, no, I genuinely am. I was a little bit worried when he took charge because I thought, oh, God, here's another boring manager that's going to try to keep possession. But you know what? There's something different about Marty because it looks like the team are playing on the front foot. They're looking for those positive, progressive passes. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, last week against Fiorentina, you could see that the aim of the game is to get the ball quick, to get it forward as quick as possible. So it's not that tepid, keep it around the back sort of passing sort of game. He wants to go for that second goal when we take the lead. So for the fans in the ground, I think it's going to be an exciting season for sure.
Graham, forever the optimist, mate. How are you feeling about the season ahead?
Well, I'm feeling good. I mean, you just actually, raised mixed emotions. This will be the first time there's not a Brock from any of my family at Filbert Street, at Filbert Way, or whatever for over 60 years. So it's that hurts a bit. And again, about the start of the season, when you go up the stairs and you come out and you get the light and you see the stadium. And it's all senses as well. It's that smell of the grass as well. You come out, you smell the grass. Game on. I think it's all looking good, but I keep my thing. No plan survives first attack of the enemy. I think Wednesday we're just happy to get a team out there. If we play, and as Inram says, rather than Wicks and Vestergaard 50 passes in the middle, get that ball forward. Have some intent. Why shouldn't it be our season?
Tom, I mean, we talk there about the style of play and stuff, and one thing we do know about Marty very well already is how much he wants to utilise the wingers. Enzo Maresca did use the wingers as well, a lot, but it feels slightly different this year because he wants the wingers to get one-on-one. We saw a lot with Abdul Fattah and Mavididi. Yes, they were magic at times, but a lot of backwards passes, sometimes sideways. But already in the opening games, you see Mavididi and Fattah just wanting to take their men on, wanting to get into the box. The other midfield players behind them are kind of creating the space. They're dragging defenders out, so it leaves the wingers, with even more space. I mean that's exciting, isn't it? Just because we know that we've got two wingers there that at championship level are a cut above. And they're going to be excellent. They're going to be so important this season.
The biggest thing I picked up last week on the Friday, when we went to the game this week, from any throw-in, if the right back was taking the throw, the left winger was far as possible on the other side of the pitch. He was on the touchline. He was making the pitch as wide as he could. Didn't matter about him doing the defending side of it. He pushed on, meaning their right back had to go with him or pull across a bit further. It then needs a bit more space on the left-hand side because it's not so enclosed. Same with the left back. When he had the ball, Abdul went wide and he did exactly the same. The space what they're trying to make for the wingers to get the ball quickly to them so they can use their pace and power to run at them. Meaning, one, they're not going to get 2-on-1 every time they get the ball. They're going to have a little one-on-one. They're going to have the opportunity to cut inside and use it. Two, if they do go, and if we do get our fullbacks up the pitch quick enough, they can then have a 2-on-1 overlap every time because sometimes your wingers aren't going to get back as quick from the opposition. So it's something I noticed massive in the game. I think wing play is going to be big. It was something he was big about when he was at QPR and getting the ball into the box early. He doesn't want this ticky-tacky stuff at the back. If you break through the lines, that's it. You broke through the lines. You then attack in numbers and fast pace. And the wingers are crucial to where he plays. And this isn't wrong. I think we've probably got two of the best wingers in the league, if I'm not wrong about it, in Mavididi and Abdul now that he's back. With Casey on the bench and Monga as your backup, you've got some real threat there in the games. And like you say, things aren't working with Mavididi. You got Monga. As things aren't working with Abdul, you got McAtee. Slightly different kind. Let's be honest. McAtee is more of an old-fashioned winger to me. He's get the ball and cross it in. He's more of a guppy kind of play. He wants a yard of pace. He wants to whip it into the box. Where Abdul, probably Mavididi and Monga are all very trickery players, like to little step overs, like to get the ball and have a run. Probably want to shoot more when they get the chance to. So it's great to have different options to put in those positions. And the thing they've all got pace, and it's all scary pace. And defenders doing what not want, someone running at them for 90 minutes and be able to swap them players over 67th minute mark and bring on two fresh legs. It's going to be probably where our season defines this year with the wingers and how they deliver balls into the box. Yeah,
totally. I mean, Imran, Tom mentioned them there, but Steffi Mavididi, Abdul Fattah, Casey McAteer, Jeremy Monga. If we're going to go even further, Bobby T. Cordova Reed, right? So we have the best wide options in the league, don't we? And I think it's by far, personally.
Yeah, I mean, we say that because we've seen what they can do 2 seasons ago, right? We know what they can do. They've had 1 year in the Premier League where they've had a fairly tough season. I know Fattah was injured for most of it, but we know that these guys are more than capable of completely burning this league down, right? Like they can kill it. My only concern, and we're going to probably get onto it later on, is the number 9, because if they're doing all that work, which they will do, and they will get the balls in, just gotta hope they don't get injured, right? Let's not tempt fate, but hopefully they'll last the season. 46 games is a long haul. I think that they'll destroy it, and like you said, we've got the backup there. I like Casey McAteer. I think he's got a big season coming up this season as well. So I think even if we had an issue with one of the wingers, Casey is more than capable. I think he can even play up front, to be honest, if push comes to shove. So I think, we're going to terrorize this league. If we can keep these guys playing and motivated, I think we'll be okay.
What about you, Graham, mate? What do you make to the wide options? Because I know Steffi Mavididi at times in the Premier League, especially, kind of got quite a bit of criticism. But as I keep saying, and we know at this level, I mean, I want to say he got 12 goals and 7 assists or something like that last time in the Championship. Abdul Fattah, similarly up there once he'd settled in. Obviously, he was a big loss last season, and he looks like he's just the Abdul of old, like even better, if anything, since his ACL. So
Locks, before Brock comes in, sorry, I just wanted to make last point about Mavididi, right? If he could just take on a man from the outside instead of cutting inside all the time, right? I think it'd be a lot more.
We saw it against Fiorentina. He did do it a couple of times.
Exactly. But he cuts inside, and that's what slows the game down. If he can just get chalk on his feet, as they used to say, right, and get the ball in with his left foot, I think it'd be a lot more dangerous. But sorry for interjecting there.
It's all right. Yeah, Graham, what do you make to the wide options?
It's only me. It doesn't matter, Expendable white man. That's me. I think that, again, old school, it's wingers, yeah? So they're either doing brilliant and going past everybody, or they're having a crap day and might as well go home. So I like what Tom said and Imran said, is chalk on your feet. But this is the big question. We are going to have to play football differently for the first time in 10 years. We are not playing to Vardy. We're not playing to Vardy's skill. This thing about, I wish he'd cut inside or whatever. Maybe he was just thinking, I better make sure that I get ready to give the ball that Vardy wants. If I can't give the ball that Vardy wants, I better give it to somebody else to get back to. I think that this fluidity and the way these guys are all going to play will be it will take them some getting used to. But we have a chance now to evolve our game. Nothing wrong with the god that is Vardy, but we have a new system, new manager, clean sheet. All the 10-year-olds players that won everything have gone. It could be very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about that, because that's a good point, Graham. Tom, with Jamie Vardy, like, even though probably the last 2 years he hasn't been the same Vardy he was previously, but his influence at the club was still sky high. He was always going to start games as long as he was fit. Maybe there's a bit more freedom with the squad now, Tom, that Jamie Vardy isn't there. Because, I know Imran said that he's slightly concerned about the number 9, but I actually think Jordan Ayew as a number 9, Tom, suits how we are playing now. I think that's why he's clearly the favourite at the moment to start, because he drops deep. He's not an out-and-out striker, right? That's the main thing, first of all. We've seen him in this rotational play, going out wide while a winger drops in and all of this stuff. And I think, and he's a poacher. I see him as a poacher, as a striker. He does kind of sit in the box at times and he'll just get a one-touch finish. So I actually think he suits the way we're going to be playing.
Yeah, I mean, he's a link-up play as well. We saw that against Fiorentina last week. He was linking the play up to get the ball wide to the midfielders and then getting into the box. I mean, look where the goal comes from. Him hanging around in the 6-yard box. El Khanous gets a lucky break. And it falls to him to score. He was linking the play up as well. He is a fox in the box. Look, replacing Jamie Vardy, even if you say over the last 2 seasons, what was it? 18 goals in the Championship, 9 goals in the Premier League. That's still a hell of a lot for a player who's just left the club to replace. 18 goals in the Championship season was probably why we got over the line. When you look at the other stats, Mavididi got 12 that season. But look, Jamie Vardy's gone, and it is now time. As Graham said, we've got to rebuild, and you've got to look at what you've got. And at the moment, you've got Jordan Ayew, you've got Paxton Daka, and probably Casey McAteer if you have to push someone further forward. this still feels me that we do probably need another striker in and around the club, and you do need to bring someone in who can change it up a little bit. Jordan Ayew, though, is the man for me who will play today, who will start, and he's got to do what he did last weekend against a very good Fiorentina side. Let's not get wrong, that was a team who finished sixth last season in the Italian league. There were no mugs, and Jordan Ayew caused them problems all game. So, look, the more games come, the more games we play, the more the lads will get used to playing with a different type of striker in and around the box. He is a different to Vardy, hasn't got the legs to run in behind. We know that. So he's got to be more clever with his movement. But we've seen he can do that. And was it 3 goals in pre-season? He's the man at the club who's going to start. He's the number 9. And I believe that he can do a job for us in this league. And I think we've all got to back him.
So let's talk about it. Imran, the club announced the shirt numbers, the kit numbers yesterday. Some people don't give a damn about the numbers, of course. I think, I do. I kind of, like to see all the numbers, especially when I'm doing the watch-alongs and stuff. I need to know which numbers who and stuff like that. But Jordan Ayew, I remember Imran like 6 weeks ago, there were debates. Not that I thought this, but there were debates that we should retire the number 9 shirt when Jamie Vardy left, which I thought was too far because it's such a prominent number 9. But I did think, Imran, that we would leave the number 9 vacant this season and wait for a striker that came in that was, I don't know, not that impressed us, but you know what I'm trying to say. A new number 9, a new striker comes into the club. But anyway, the club have given the number 9 shirt to the man who is likely to start the season at least as a striker, and that's Jordan Ayew. It's upset a lot of people online. I don't really understand why it's upset so many. I was more shocked at the time, but I don't know why people are so upset with it. What's your take on it?
So about retiring the number 9, I think that's a pathetic idea. It's like, you know what? Football goes on, right? We could unearth another fantastic number 9, better than Vardy in the future, maybe past my lifetime. So retiring a shirt, I think it's a crazy idea. Life goes on. We don't retire a president. If the president was to leave and we say, we're going to get a temporary one, and he's still the president of the United Kingdom or whatever, right? You can't retire us. I think that's a bit woke. But anyway, around Jordan Ayew, look, I think he'll do well. I think it's not my preferred choice. The shirt number I don't give a crap about, to be honest. Let's just talk about, he's got the number 9 shirt at the moment. It doesn't mean next season he's going to get the number 9. He might not even be here, right? We don't know. But I think he will get goals. I think he's going to get 15 plus goals this season. I've said it. There you go. He might even get a hat-trick today with a poor Sheffield Wednesday team. So he's already a quarter of the way there, if you look at it that way, or nearly a quarter of the way there. So he will score goals. He's that kind of a player. I think he's got a fantastic shot on him. Like, his right foot's lethal, right? He's good at free kicks. He takes set pieces. So he's going to get goals. There's no doubt. We're in the Championship. If he keeps fit, he will get the goals. But
I think he'll be on penalties as well, Imran.
Penalties as well, correct? Yeah, he does all the set pieces. But is he my preferred number 9? Definitely not, right? Definitely not. This is just, look, guys, we got to remember, I think this is just a stopgap season. If we can get promoted this season, for a fact he's not going to be number 9 next season, right? He's a bit old now. He'll probably step back a little bit. I know he's got a 2-year. I think he's still got 2 years left in his contract.
No, he's got 1 year, mate. One
year left.
Jordan Ayew,
well,
yeah.
There you go. So this is just like, we didn't have anybody else. Pats and Daka probably thought, I don't want that mantle because I can't score goals anyway. Let's just give it to Ayew. So yeah, that's what my feelings are about it. I think he'll do well in that number 9 role. But like I said, he's not my preferred choice. If we can get Kone in, that'll add a bit more excitement and he can take another number, I guess.
Okay, here we go. Graham, I haven't checked your Twitter feed today. I imagine a few clown emojis went out yesterday evening, potentially. What is your take on... Go on.
It was Clown City, trust me. I just held that button down, yeah.
What was your take, first of all, on the decision to make him the number 9, but then also the reaction that people had?
Well, I think it's a stroke of fucking genius. right? So there are two ways of looking at it, right? Number one, it's taken whoever ends up being the number 9, it's taken the pressure off the next person that becomes number 9, right? Because
Good point.
Ayew, yeah, so you bring a new player in. Oh, we'll give him the number 9 shirt. Oh, bugger, who was the last one? Some Vardy, who? And to Imran's point, retiring the shirt, Sam Smith or whatever his name was that scored all those goals, 7 in one game. Did they retire it after him? No. So let's put that one side. So I think on 2 points, it's a stroke of bloody genius. I'll cut that. One, because it takes the pressure off who comes in. If it makes him feel slightly more confident and adds a couple more goals to his season because he's wearing a number 9 shirt, all and good. He really was kind of like a number 10. He reminds me a bit more if he's going to play in that position of how Lineker was, a fox in the box, a bit of a poacher. And
like
thirdly,
a false 9 as well. He's
false
like a bit
9,
like a false 9.
Yeah, for you younger people. But the fact the fact is as well is that it's going to confuse a lot of people because they're going to go, hang on a second. But I think him personally, there's a lot of things that he can deliver. But I think the most important thing of that is, and that's the stroke of genius, it's taken the pressure off whoever comes in next, and they want to give that number 9 shirt to, because it's like following, Alex Ferguson or something like that. That would be added pressure to them, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when there was always a big thing about who got the number 7 at Man United. There was always a big thing about that, and most of them flopped, to be honest with you, after because everyone was just like, "Oh, it's Beckham's number or it's Ronaldo's number." You know what I mean? The next person to wear has to be
Georgie Best's number.
George Best.
Yeah, exactly. But no, Tom. Not just even the number, but I just think Jordan Ayew is incredibly overhated. Like, I honestly can't understand it, mate. Because right, you've got Bobby Reed, for example, who came in at the same time, and he's played less games than Ayew. He's offered less than Ayew. I mean, he's been non-existent in pre-season. We've not even seen him yet. I'm not saying that's people should hate him instead, but I'm saying, I just think people focus their attention at the wrong guy here, because Jordan Ayew last season is, and focus. I know Graham will disagree, but focus if you don't like the signing, focus on the people that signed him. Don't focus on the fucking man, because all Jordan Ayew's done is he's come in on a 2-year deal, and he scored like 4 or 5 goals last season. Yes, he was a part of that spell where he started every week and Mavididi was on the bench, but blame Ruud van Nistelrooy for that. It's not Jordan Ayew's fault he started. And in pre-season, Tom, with no Daka, again, he's the top goal scorer, and he offers a lot to the team. I don't know why people are so angry about him.
I don't get why anyone would hate anyone who's playing for your club and wearing that badge in any way beyond the year.
Maybe Fass.
Okay, but I think it's pretty embarrassing. Even against Frontier, there was jeers when they were reading players' names out. Bobby Reed, not Bobby, Ayew's name got read out. There's a few jeers. Bubaki Samari name, there was a few jeers, and it was a bit like that season's gone. Last year was done and dusted. That wasn't all the players' fault that we didn't stay up last season. That was down to poor management from above, that we didn't put the right people in place. You know what I mean? And we didn't have a good enough squad to stay in the league. The hate towards Jordan, sometimes it's, again, a little bit embarrassing that he gets all the stick. As for the number 9 shirt, what can you say? Look, he's a legend, but we've had legends before who wear that number shirt. We're talking about Emil Heskey, Gary Lineker, played before my time that Graham's going to know more about. Sorry, Graham, you are a lot older than me, mate. But, players like that.
Did Steve Claridge wear the number 9? I think
Claridge possibly as well. Players who've done legendary stuff. It is a number. Do I think they're giving it to the right person? I think takes the pressure off if they do go and sign another striker, because we've all seen what happens when strikers come in on big salaries. Sometimes they don't work out. Daka has not worked out. You give Patson Daka the number 9 shirt, there'd be even more uproar than there is now, and the pressure would be on him even more than it was before. Giving it to an experienced player who's still an international, fair play to him. It's not what everyone wants, but it's a number. It doesn't mean that it's going to make any difference to that player. Retiring a shirt? Absolutely not. I mean, not be funny. Birmingham City is the biggest embarrassment to football by retiring Jude Bellingham's number when he left to go to Bruce in Dortmund.
After what, 3 years of 3 years at 20 years old, 19 years old.
You know, it's pretty embarrassing when you start retiring shirts. The only thing I agree what Liverpool did was retire the number 20 shirt for Jota. That's in his memory and fully deserved. And something like that ever happened again. You know, I understand that, but because someone's left, players come and go. There's one thing that never goes, and that's the fans or the who come every single week. So, look, back Jordan Ayew, back whatever number he's wearing. We've got a long, hard season. We don't know if we're going to get another player in the door as a striker, and we might literally be down to what we've got. So, there's no point booing or slagging him off this season. Let's get fully behind him because he might be the only number 9 we actually have.
And just the last argument on retiring the shirt. Let's say if Jota was a number 10 at Liverpool,
they wouldn't have done it.
They wouldn't have done it, 100%.
No. So if Jamie Vardy was number 16 all his career at Leicester, they would have probably retired it. They probably would have.
Yes, I agree.
But he's number 9. You can't retire the number 9 shirt. You can't
retire any number that's 1 to 11, in my view.
That's a crime against football if you retire the number 9 shirt. Absolutely. Just quickly as well, by the way, guys. Obviously, you can see I'm wearing the new kit here, but the club have now. It's now out there, the pink one, on the store. So you can buy it. Well, no, it's back for the women. It's not on the men's. Yeah. So it's on the women's, not on the men's. So you can buy it when you go down to the stadium later, or you can buy it online. So the Matrix looking green one should be out next weekend as well, or Wednesday actually maybe. So there we go. Let's just see what some of the
of Luke Thomas covering the center of the shirt there, eh? Good marketing.
Yeah, definitely. I was just going to bring some comments here about Ayew. So Ayew has been okay. However, I'd rather him be Impact's player. I mean, we'd all rather Ayew. We'd all rather a better striker than Ayew. We're not saying that, but out of the people at the club, Jordan Ayew is, I think, the best person to wear the number 9 because he's one of 2 strikers, and the other striker's absolutely useless. So a Richard Kone, again, most of us want us to sign a striker. Most of us are kind of excited about Richard Kone, but do you bring him in from League One and give him the number 9 shirt? I don't know if that's wise. Again, it's the pressure. Give it to someone who's at the club who's likely to leave in a year's time. That would make sense. There's Steve. So Jordan Ayew's blind. So he has bought his Jordan Ayew shirt. I've seen the receipt, so that's all done. Chip says, I think you got lucky not getting the big the Saigon. It looks so stupid on mine. I just didn't get it, mate, because I went into the store to get it and it wasn't on the stock shirt. So, yeah. Elm says, I've always been an Ayew fan. He's going to score loads this season. I actually do think he's going to score quite a lot of goals. And when we did our predictions last Wednesday, I actually said that Jordan Ayew is going to win Leicester Player of the Season. So there we go. We'll see if that comes.
One other quick Ayew point while you're on that is you've not mentioned the fact of the number of fouls, fouls, or that he wins. He's going to get himself tripped up all over the box all the time, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, good point. I was going to mention that because he's quite tricky, isn't he? And he's quite stocky.
He knows how to leave a leg in.
Yeah,
it's his fat ass. It's his fat arse. He literally just sticks his fat arse in front of the defender, and he goes down. Yeah, he wins them. So
fat arse. I thought you were talking about Shearer there for a second. That's how he used to play.
Nothing wrong with the fat arse. Hey, exactly. use what you've got. Remember that, chaps. You have to use what you got.
Absolutely. I also wanted to just very quickly bring this comment up because I think there are people wondering. So, for context, if anybody somehow isn't aware, 2 months ago, me and Luke had an argument about whether Ricardo Pereira would stay this summer. And Luke was adamant he was going to leave. And I said, all right, if he goes, I will eat a Carolina Reaper chili live on the first watch-along against Sheffield Wednesday. And if he stays, you have to eat it. So the result of that is Luke has sent me a photo and he does have the Carolina Reaper chilies ready. So on the watch-along today, he will be consuming one of these. What does it say? 80 times hotter than a Cayenne chili. So there you go. That's going to be lovely. Right, there was another comment here. Tom says Ayew is better than everybody wants to admit. I think we all agree with this, right? People just pretend that he's absolutely rubbish because he's old and slow, and it's just not true. Do you know what I mean? It's not true. I think Manny's fast twitch fibers have been swaying people too much, I think.
He's got fast twitch buttocks, it looks like, this guy.
yeah.
He's had fat twitch buttocks.
Yeah, what's it called? What do the women have these days? What's it called? Is it a BBL or something? When they get their ass, they get filler in their
Brazilian
ass.
bum lift, so I hear, allegedly.
Oh yeah, I bet you know. Yeah.
That's why you're in Australia.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sitting on the commode as we speak.
You need to go to Turkey, mate. It'll be much cheaper in Turkey. Yeah. Save some money. Tom, at the back against Fiorentina, we saw Akoli and Vestergaard, and I think there was a bit of discussion as to whether that's just Marti Cifuentes' preference at the moment, or if it was because Ben Nelson had a bit of a hit and miss pre-season, because I think he was knocked. He wasn't knocked. He had a knock for a couple of games. What's your take on this? Because we know Vestergaard is a brilliant defender at championship level. We saw it 2 years ago with the ball at his feet as well. But he is slow, and that has been a problem. Ben Nelson, young, exciting, good at championship level, proven at Oxford. What is that where you would go with it today? Would you go Nelson Akoli?
I'd go with it. What I think we'll see today is Vestergaard and Akoli in the back line. I think the reason Vestergaard is in there, though his pace isn't great, he's a ball-playing defender. That's why Rodgers brought him in, because he's a ball-playing defender. His vision, his range of passing is why he gets placed most weeks. He can switch to diagonals. He can play the 5-yard passes. He can play the little clips over the top if he needs to. Yes, we know he can be a little bit of a liability at the back sometimes. He could hold onto the ball for a little bit too long, or he hasn't got the pace if someone does him. But he is that ball-playing centre-half that most managers want to play out from the back use, because his ability and his vision is second to none. We all know that. We all knew from the Champions season the switches of play between the diagonal passing was massive, and this year very even more with the way we're using the wingers. So I truly think you'll see Vestergaard in the lineup. I don't think you'll see much changes to that team that started last weekend to be the team that starts today. I think you'll see the same back four. Obviously, one change with the goalkeeper. Slarchek comes in because Mads is gone now, but I think it'll be Hamza at the back as a right back, and I think he'll be the captain for the day. I think he'll be vice captain when we start the season for this year. I think you'll see Ockley, Vestergaard, Thomas again. To be honest with you, the way he finished last season, the way he's been in pre-season, fair play to him, he's turned it around massively. I think Boubakary and Skip will be central midfielders. El Khanous, Mavadidi, Ayew and Abdul. I think that'll be the starting lineup. I think what he started will be his starting lineup today. I don't think he'll make too many changes in that for me.
Well, Imran, if the Fiorentina game was a bit of a test for the players, his starting 11, I think especially in the first half, they passed that test. Vestergaard, despite how slow he is, him and Akoli, they kept a clean sheet, and Thomas, they kept a clean sheet. Hamza as well, don't forget, who I think will definitely start because Ricardo and JJ have been out with injury. Ricardo is fit though, apparently, but obviously he's only just back from injury. So what's your take on the back four then, Imran? Because I think Vestergaard, for me, I think people just had this assumption that he wouldn't be in this team this season, but Enzo Maresca was adamant on giving him a 3-year deal a year ago. So he's here for a little while longer, I think, Imran. And I think as long as he's here and it's championship level that he's proven at, I think he'll play.
Yeah, similar to Ayew. Again, not really my cup of tea. I prefer Fast to Vestergaard, to be honest, because I know Fast is... Yeah, that's a debate we can have another time. But I just find Fast a little bit more, a bit more faster. That sounded weird. Fast is faster. Anyway, I don't know with Vestergaard. I know he's proven at this level. I've just got this, I guess, bias against him now. I just don't like him. Don't want to see him in a Leicester shirt, to be honest. But yeah, if my heart's talking, I'd rather see Fass in that position, but my head's telling me, yeah, you know what? He's proven at championship level, so I'm not going to have a problem. I think this is his level, right? So let's not. I've got to let my biases just go away for a second and say, look, he's done it at championship level. Let's just give him a go today, and I think he will start today, unfortunately. But I know, like you said, Tom likes him, and probably Brock will like him, but he's not my cup of tea either.
I mean, Graham. You know, we talk about like the squad isn't quite as good as it was 2 years ago. But I actually think the back line is, because I think Okoli is better than Fass, and I think, you know, you've got then as long as Okoli's here, right? Come the end of the window, he could leave, of course. Apparently, AC Milan are sniffing around, but. You know, Vestergaard and Nelson as well. I think they're both better than Fass, to be honest. I know Imran disagrees, but I think both of them players are better than Fass. I just think Fass is a bozo. His attitude is like honking. And I know Vestergaard's had his moments with managers, but I actually feel like when Vestergaard's on the pitch, his attitude is actually good. His ability isn't quite there. His pace isn't there at all. But I actually think Vestergaard's attitude on the pitch. You know, you disagree, Imran? I think his attitude on the pitch is all right.
Look, he's slow, right? We all determined that, right? He's slow, but I don't think he shows any aggression at all. He's got no leadership about him. That's at least Fass will go into a tackle. You know, he'll lunge into challenges. I just don't see that from Vestergaard. That's my only thing. Maybe I see the game differently, and I'm not saying I'm right, but I don't see any like leadership, aggression, tenacity. And, you know, I don't know, from Vestergaard, I just don't see it. I know he's a good passer and all that good stuff, but anyway, let Tom come in with his views, but it's not
Graham. I mean, yeah. What is your take on it? Because as I said, we saw Vestergaard and Okoli, they did well, but Nelson is very close to the first team, and he's been given the number 4 shirt, if that matters.
Yeah, number 4 used to be in my day a midfielder's shirt, but so don't excuse me there. But before we move on to that,
Danny Drinkwater had it. Yeah.
That's it. Hey, I've got to say, by the way, before we go on, you've actually used for the first time Ricardo's full name. Do you realise that? His full name is Ricardo, only just back from injury. That's his full name.
Very funny.
I mean, I think that we need some old git in the middle of the park, in defence, marshalling, whatever. Vestergaard, his attitude has honked, but when he's on the pitch, and again, I'd love to see all of us standing next to him when he has a run. I think he might be a little quicker than we actually think. He's just slow and ponderous. Looking as well as playing. I mean, I want somebody in that can hold these young lads, make them better. Let's see what happens. If we can have a completely young defence and they're capable in this league, that's great. I mean, you said at the beginning of this, I think a few lifetimes ago, about you think we've got a better back 4 than we've had previously. I actually think we have put another word in there, potentially a better back 4 than we've had in a long time.
I thought you were going to say we've got a better team.
No, I think that I think potentially that is a better back 4. But they now need to show it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Tom, go on. I think you're going to add something then, mate.
No, I was going to say, talking about Wout Faes, my only problem with Wout Faes is the difference between Wout Faes and Vestergaard. I don't love Vestergaard, let me just put his way. He's not the player that I'd pick there every week. I'd put Ben Nelson in there. My problem with Faes is that when things aren't going right, instead of encouraging and supporting the team and working with the young lads, he just throws his arms around like a kid who's not got a chocolate bar. He literally just throws his arms up, starts moaning when the fans are on his back. He's quick enough to give him the V signs. I remember the game against Norwich when he did it, and then we scored. He turned and gave it a V side to the fans. For me, he's not a leader of the team. He's a player who's bang average, but then, you know, when things aren't going around, he won't help. He won't rally the troops. He just throws his arms around and chucks the blame everywhere else. The Forest game was the prime example when the ball went down the middle of the pitch and everyone missed it. And the first thing he did was just started pointing at people. Instead of like, right, that's gone wrong, boys. We're going to have to resolve that. It was just pointing at people, throwing his arms around. That's not going to help anyone. And this season, especially the Premiership, didn't help. He ain't going to help this year. So for me, get rid of him out the club. He's one who we need to get rid of out the club. I think he is a rotten egg in my view.
Oh, I know Fast shushed the fans, but did he actually give the V signs?
Yeah, he gave the V signs to Elbrook. He gave
to me that's an instant.
Yeah,
that's it.
I
You're out
remember
the
game
forever.
Yeah, I never thought that, but yeah, maybe.
He crossed the ball over, and Jubilee Hall scored, and he turned around, he went like that, and they did the old V's to the fans.
Yeah, because they were groaning, weren't they? They were groaning.
He missed the ball.
There was another player that did that, and I want to say it was Ben Marshall. The one who only scored screamers, and I think he did that to the Leicester fans.
Barnsley away, yeah. And he'd come on at half time. I remember him talking about it, and he said, "I went to that corner, and they were all just having a go, and just gave him a full double barrel."
And I don't think he played for Leicester ever again after that. And that's the right thing to do. That's instant. So the fact that he even, and look, we've not seen too much of him, and I don't think he definitely won't start today. It came out in January that Leicester were going to let him go this summer, but if there's no one willing to pay, I think we would all. Let me just ask you all this. I'll come to you first, Imran. Would you take another like Connor Cody type deal for Fast, just a couple million?
Yeah.
If somebody cut price deal, somebody comes in for him, just get him gone.
Yeah, if you can find a replacement, I'd get rid. Yeah, of course, even Vestergaard, get rid. If you get a Connor Cody deal, I'd get rid of both, but. We just need good centre backs are hard to come by. That's the problem, right? Experienced centre backs. We thought Connor Cody would be the answer, but he was rubbish as well. He was, leadership wise, he was good, but let's be honest, like he'd lost pace. He wasn't. He just looked like 2-3 yards short of what he used to be at Wolves, right? So, I'd get rid of Fast and Vestergaard if we can, but we're not in that position, unfortunately, because we're on such high wages. It's hard to get rid of both of them, right? So, what if one goes? I'd be happy.
He's a good
Graham.
pundit.
Yeah, he is a good pundit. I don't know. By the way, can I just say I don't know if you guys saw the Ewan Roberts thing. Have you seen the video from Ewan Roberts yesterday? He went in on Connor Cody, like fully went in on him, and he was saying stuff like the season Leicester got promoted. Ewan was doing the stuff at the King Power, the media stuff, and Ewan said Connor Cody was in there with me more times he was on the pitch. So yeah, but Graham, what about you? Because I know you've been talking a little bit about the master of the deal, the master of the negotiation, John Rudkin, recently. Would you take cut price deals for the pair of them Fast? Well, let's just stick to Fast because I don't think Vestergaard is going anywhere. But Wout Fast. 2-3 million quid, would you just get him gone?
Well, I think my part of the deal with the Rangers thing is that I think there's probably been everybody that we ever know would have said, well, he can go there on a free, but actually managed to conjure up a couple of million for him. But who wants him? I mean, Fast has been offered on sale just about every year he's been here, hasn't he? I think it would be great to get one or other of them off, but that would almost end up being a perfect season, wouldn't it? So. Who knows? Who would have him? Where would he go? It would have to be abroad, surely. It's not my expertise selling centre halves.
It was Lazio that were interested in January, and apparently they've been sniffing around again. But like you say, the hardest thing is just find. The thing I just find amazing is that it's slightly different this year because we got Cody out, but. We seem to buy other teams' dead wood, like with other clubs seem to shift dead wood quite easily, but we always struggle with it, and it must just be the inflated wages that these players are on because we know
it's also the market. It's also the market we're shopping in as well. We have signed. Faz is a Belgium international until he starts playing for us, so it is that kind of market that we have. We have to. I'm not defending Rudkin here as ever, but sometimes, to get some of these deals through the doors, you have to offer players this sort of thing. I mean, Vestergaard was an international when we signed him, so it's all, we're not exactly,
Suter's an international as well, right, for Australia. He's not. We're not even talking
Yeah,
about
but
him.
listen, I could be a bleeding I could be the bloody international Australia. Suter is a very big bloke. I mean, he makes
Listen, be
Vestergaard
careful.
look
They'll deport you with
basic.
these comments.
Yeah, like I said, well, yes, yeah, but as I say, I mean, Suter is again, everybody's calling for him to be our saviour, but he's slower than the second coming.
Yeah, and he's a fake Australian as well, isn't he? He's Scottish.
Yeah. But I have met him, but I wouldn't say it to his face because he's built like a brick shithouse.
Yeah, but would you want to play for Scotland or Australia, Locks?
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, it's a hard choice. It's a hard choice. I was going to bring.
No, it isn't. Australia that play in the sun. It doesn't matter about the.
He could play for Wales, I suppose.
I was going to bring this up. His graphic got released. Obviously, he's still recovering from his. I think it's an Achilles. He looks like he's a homeless guy now. Look at him. Which is interesting.
He looks like a big version of Caleb out of
Clarkson Farm.
Clarkson's Farm. Yeah, he does.
He does literally like he has just fallen out of bed and gone. You got to have your photo, and he's gone.
Yeah, all right.
He's not back to November though, isn't he? Anyway, I don't think they've said he'll be back to November time. So again, he's another one that can come back into the squad eventually.
Yeah, well, he's also slow, and I also don't think he's great with his feet. So I don't think he would suit this at all.
No,
to be
he's
honest,
old school centre half.
Yeah, he can score goals. He's good at set pieces. Yeah, if you need a goal later on, bring him on. Of course. I think he's done that. I think he's played up front for Australia as well. He's been brought on and just shoved up top. Old school. That's what Imran wants.
Yeah, that's me. That's already. I started salivating there.
Let's talk about the other news this week as well. Tom, Ricardo Pereira, mate, or as Graham corrected me, Ricardo just back from injury. He has been named club captain. What's your take on this? Because he's the most senior player in the squad, I think, in terms of he's been at the club the longest, I want to say, over anybody else, if I'm not mistaken. Or Hamza, actually, but you know what I mean. He's played the most games. But he probably plays about 10 games a season on average. So what do you think to him being made club captain?
I don't think it's the ideal captain, if I'm honest, because he doesn't play enough. But let's be honest, there's not very many out there who do. I mean, let's be honest about it. Senior players in the club now, you probably are talking about Vestergaard and Faz. You're not going to give them either the captaincy. So Winks, but again, I don't see him being here. If I'm honest, I still think the club are looking to offload him if they can. I think they're looking at the wages and thinking we can get another 90 grand off a week off our wage bill. They will do, and that's why I think you're seeing Oliver Skip play this today. I think they've already decided that he will be going, or he's already decided he wants to go. I think the choice is there because he's the only one who can fit the bill. Hamza Chowdhury would have been probably one of I would have gone with personally, but again, is he going to play enough when James Justin back and Ricardo's back? Probably not. So, yeah, he's the senior player at the club. They've gone down that route. He's the one who's been here the longest with Hamza, and that's why I think he's been picked as the captain. Again, I think you always should pick the captain who's going to be the team leader every single week and is going to be out there playing every single week. But then you're looking at someone possibly like Jordan Ayew at the moment who's going to be rolled out every single week, or Skip or Sumari, and those ones that haven't been here long enough to justify probably having the captain's
armband. What about Luke Thomas?
I think his age, mate. That's the only reason I'd say. I think he's too young to be given that responsibility onto. I think that'd be my thing with Luke Thomas. He hasn't been here regularly. He's been shipped out a couple of times on loan as well. So I think the thing with Luke Thomas is get him back playing football week in, week out and get his confidence back up. His confidence is going anyway, but let him just concentrate on playing football. So, yeah, I think it was the only option really that they went down with the captaincy for Ricardo.
Yeah. What about you, Imran? Ricardo Pereira, mate. I mean, this is it. We did a show the other day about it before it was announced, and yeah, my only concern was he just doesn't play enough games. But I suppose it will just be the vice captain who wears the armband. Whether that's Hamza, Winks.
I think he's just been given it by default, right? He's been there the longest. He's got a lot of experience. I think the players look up to him as well. he must be quite respected as well within the club. So I think it makes sense to give him the captain's armband. But we all know, I mean, you never know. He might surprise us, right? He might end up playing quite a few games this season. Let's see. But the Championship is grueling, as we said, 46 games plus cup games. Is he going to last that long? But yeah, I mean, like you said, I think the vice captain is going to be the main focus this season.
Great.
The other thing, I don't think. Yeah. Anyway, I'll come on to that point after we've had that discussion. But sorry, Graham.
Well, I was going to say, Graham, I mean, Elm says here he's the most likable. I think what he means by that is he's probably he's one of the most popular with the fans in the squad. I think he is a leader because he's picked up the captain's armband many a times over the last couple of years. However, he just doesn't play enough, and I do think we lack leadership on the pitch. At times, we had obviously Vardy, but even he wasn't really Vardy wasn't a captain. He never was a captain. I don't think he ever wanted to be captain, Jamie Vardy, because it always seemed to go to somebody else. I think Yuri Tielemans used to wear it over Jamie Vardy. So what's your take on Ricardo being given it?
Well, I think that in the House of Commons they have the oldest person is either called the father or the mother of the house, and it almost strikes me as this one is, Ricardo's got that role, and when he does play, but he will be captain. But I've also heard that the and correct me if I'm wrong, is that there is like a 3 or 4. There's a senior player management squad, and what's his name, Hamza, and a few others are in that, and I think what I want for my captain on the pitch is, you never want a goalkeeper as a captain, and you never want as a centre forward as a captain. You want somebody in the middle of that spine of the field that can make some on-field decisions. But the game has changed so much that it's no longer just one substitute. They're on the pitch and everything has to change. That we should have the ability. The manager has much more ability to change and affect a game than they've had in the past. So, you can bring on 3, 4 players, whatever. So the captain's role, and again, I'm going to take you even further back to a guy called Gibson, who was the last captain, who actually his responsibility was to pay the players' wages. The club would give the wages to him, and he would go round and pay the players and pay the fines and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, he's a nice guy. It's a harmless thing. He's not going to bugger the bursar on the lawn or do whatever. He's going to be there, and it is a good face for the club.
When you're smiling, I think have said in their latest episode that it's a 7-man leadership group, which includes Ayew and Hamza, but they didn't name the others. Ben Nelson was given the captain's armband in one of the games. Young guy to be given the captain, but I mean, if he's got the leadership qualities, I think we were saying on Wednesday, the age doesn't matter in my opinion. It's all down to age and how many games you've played doesn't matter. It's your character. On the pitch, and if Ben Nelson is one of them characters, then absolutely he should be one of the guys that gets that. Same with Hamza Chowdhury, Jordan Ayew as well. We could see Jordan Ayew with the captain's armband today, if this is true that he is a part of the leadership group, or Hamza, one of the two of them, because I think they'll both start. But yeah, there was. I wanted to just bring this comment up finally. So I don't really want to end it on a negative, but we'll get to the score predictions at the end, which will be positive, hopefully. But the apparently the latest news is that it's 15.5 million plus 2 million for Mads Hermansen, which is almost half of what Leicester originally quoted. So I know how Graham feels on this. I'll come to him last. But Tom, what do you think to that, mate? Because we've been knocked down, allegedly, we've been knocked down 50% on the fee for Mads. Does it could be Mads was desperate to leave. It could be that Leicester are desperate to bring money in. I don't know.
I personally think that's well short of what the true value of a goalkeeper's worth. I mean, I see people out saying that we got the good money for him, it'll take it and get on with it, but I still think when you're looking at James Trafford, who left Burnley and went back to Manchester for, was it 30 million, was it? Mads Hermansen is up there for me as being the same kind of class goalkeeper than James Trafford is. I don't think they're very much far apart from their performance levels or what they offer you. They both can play out from the back. They both very good shot stoppers, both good at coming out and collecting the ball. And we've got 15 million for a goalkeeper with more probably potential, in my view, than James Trafford is. Just think it's laughable. I just think sometimes yes, we're in a situation we've got to sell, but we could be a little bit more like, no, we're not just going to go for the cheapest offer, and that's the offer on the table. It could be the difference, between going up and staying down, having a goalkeeper of that class. Don't get me wrong, Jakub Solarczyk is a good replacement to come in, but he's still a young lad who's got to learn a lot to learn in the game still. I just think Mads knowing the Championship could be a massive turning point if you actually get promotion automatically or through the playoffs. And I just think we should have got a bit more money for him than the 15 million. I said if you'd got 25 million, I think you would have accepted that kind of amount. But for me, 15 million seems very, very cut price deal. And yes, I know it's getting other wages off, and yes, it's 15 million back in our pocket. And I know we're up against it again with the FSP and points deduction and all that going into the following season. But I think we could have taken a little bit more money from West Ham. This is a Premiership club. They've got money. We know that. So we could have held on to him and probably squeezed a bit more money out for them.
Yeah. What about you, Imran? I know that you were you were just content with the fee, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I get Tom's point, right? But remember, Trafford is British, right? He's an English goalkeeper. And Hermansen is from Denmark. So obviously that we know with English players, you're always going to get premium price for them. But I think I'm a little bit disappointed with the price. I was expecting, I'm about 5 million short of Tom. I'm saying I would have expected 20, 22 million, around that much. I think that's a fair value. I don't think he's had fantastic games, don't get me wrong. He played really well in the Championship, but in the Premier League, he was questionable, right? I don't think he was that great after injury. So I think we got a decent price. How much did we pay for him 2 seasons ago? Was it 8 million?
5 million, I think.
So, you know what? It's not a bad return, right? Like, that's the way we got to look at it. We didn't make a loss on him like we've done with most of our players. There's a long list of them, by the way. So we did okay. I'm not fully content, but I never am. But yeah, would have expected around 22, 23 million for him. But 18 million with add-ons, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, Graham, I suppose you have to take this into account, the cost of relegation, of course, and people use James Trafford as a yardstick, but I think with James Trafford, he's English, so he costs more, and also on top of that, I said it the other day, but with the squad registration rules for European football, not only do you need homegrown players, but you also need a small selection of homegrown at club or trained at club players, which Trafford ticks because he was from their academy. So that's always going to drive James Trafford's price up. And Burnley were a Premier League team because they got promoted. So that also puts the price up. So I don't think we were ever going to get the 35-40 million that maybe we quoted Chelsea last summer, allegedly. But I do think, Graham, still 15, 18, whatever it is, £1 million is still just a little bit too low, and we've probably had to just accept that because of PSR.
Yeah, negotiation. I mean, the clue is the word deal. Yeah, I mean, I think the first offering price that we wanted for him from West Ham was 25 million, and they offered us 13 million. You hear reports from Ben Jacobs and disgruntled ex-fans saying, it's only 15 or whatever. We never really know. Nobody ever really actually declares what the price is. And there was no other club coming in for him. So, again, your negotiation position is a bit low. They brought this Brazilian thing in just to kind of throw it off as well. I think it's a low price. I think it's worth more than that. But given his injury record, he could be out the season in 6 months' time. What you want from your goalkeeper, and if you go back through his injury record, there's something virtually every year. You want goalkeepers that don't ever get injured, that are year in, year out. Look at Casper, look at other keepers.
Your favourite guy, Casper.
My favourite guy, Casper. But he never got injured because he never did anything. But anyway, there is. But if there's no other bidders, there is no other deal on the table. I think we've probably got 15 and a half, or whatever is what some kind of fee. There'll be add-ons for. He plays 100 games. He's wins a cup medal. He goes on to be eventually when Kasper is physically removed from the goal for the Denmark team, he will play there. So yeah, I think the guy could be worth more. But again, it is West Ham are actually taking a risk on the keeper, signing a very good keeper who is prone to injury. So, for a couple of million either way. Oh, and I suppose the other thing is we needed to get this out of the way to whatever this locks for the rest of this unlocks in this process. We knew we had to sell him. We brought somebody in. There is a space. PSR is all this sort of thing. So time will tell. I wish him the best of luck. I wish Danny Ward the best of luck. I think that we're moving into a new area. And also, again, quickly on the money thing, don't expect us suddenly to go out and spend a load of money. Even if I think we are clear of the PSR, if we've got the squad we've got and we want to go up, we do need some coins in the bank for new players at the end of the season if we're going to get promoted.
Yeah, and that was my last point there, Locks, right? I think, 3 seasons ago when we got relegated under Rodgers / Dean Smith, we didn't sign anyone at the start of the season, right? We went into the season with no Kasper. We had Danny Ward in goal. We didn't sign anyone of note until it came, I think, January. We signed 3 players, right? We signed Suter, who was that Brazilian player again? Tete. And who else was it? Oh, Christensen. Christensen, right?
The Christensen, Tete, and Suter came in January, and then Fast was in the summer.
Yeah, so we didn't sign, and it's similar to this season, right? We haven't signed anyone of note. We've got Begovic in, so I'm expecting a little bit of a ripple of activity towards the end of the transfer window. I think we still need a couple of players in. But like Graham said, it's not going to be big signings. It's just going to be supplementary players. It depends if Bilal goes, right? If Bilal goes, then we will probably sign someone big. But yeah, that we've not talked about that. But I know we're nearly out of time. So interesting discussion.
The last 2 things I wanted to just say quickly were, yes, the pink kit's out. I see a lot of people saying it in the chat. There it is, one more time. I think it's a beauty. I know some disagree, but I love it. I'll be picking it up before my holiday. And also, it's been 1 game, but Connor Cody is already the official spokesperson of Wrexham. So there you go. He's already been stuck in front of the camera. So that's not a surprise. But I think that's it, right? Lose a game, send Connor out. He'll sort the fans. He'll make the fans feel better. Okay, final thing. Score predictions in the chat, please. Tom, score predictions. Leicester versus Sheffield Wednesday.
3-0 Leicester.
Okay, Imran, what are you going with, mate?
I'm actually going for 4-0 Leicester. I've said this from the start. I think Sheffield Wednesday are disillusioned right now, so I think we can really hammer them. So 4-0 from me.
Go on, Graham.
3-0. Sorry, got to go 3-0.
Sorry, can I get that? Can I get that with a hat on, please?
Oh, sorry. 3-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. No, 3-0 to Leicester City.
I've been trying to work out.
Can you imagine if it...
I was going to work out if it's Indiana Jones or you're from Jurassic Park.
I am Jurassic Park.
Okay, let's see what people are saying in the chat. I'm going for I keep changing my mind. I'm going to say 4-1. 4-1. Sam is saying 5-1. Ryan is saying 4-0. Fosshub 3-1, Elm 6-0, 3-1 Leicester, 3-0, 1-0 Sheffield Wednesday, typical Leicester, 5-0 Leicester, 8-0 Leicester, 3-1 Banana, 4-0, 6-1, 2-1, 6-0, 2-0. Kunal says 1-0 win, and Cedric says 9-0. Apparently, the championship record is 9-0, so we could go for 10. Who knows?
But you can see the confidence, Locks. You can see the confidence there because Sheffield Wednesday are battered, right? I think if we score early, if we can get in the first 10 minutes, if we can go 1-2-0 up, right? I can see the floodgates opening. But yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm excited, and sure, Tom, you're going today, right?
Absolutely. Just one positive note. How did Derby get on yesterday?
I don't know. How did they do?
Oh, they lost 3-1 to Stoke.
3-1.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Poor Derby. All the bigging up before the season.
What about Coventry? Do they play today?
No, they sold their ground out as well, and they drew 0-0 with Hull. Oh, dear. All the big build-ups from their fans.
I think we've just got to be careful, boys. Just got to be careful, let's just not get ahead of ourselves. I think with the other one with Sheffield Wednesdays, literally every single one of their players is going to be in the shop window. So, do expect a couple of performances out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say as well, you know what Leicester fans are like. If we only win 2-0, people will moan and say we didn't win by enough goals. So that's what I expect to happen. But anyway, we're going to end
1-0 as well. I'll be happy with 1-0.
3 points. That's all that matters.
3 points. That's what we need. 3 points.
Yeah, that will be clawing back 2 points from Ipswich, who are tipped to be the best team in the league, even though Leicester exists. So, right, that's it. Thank you to Tom. Thank you to Imran. Thank you to Graham. Thank you to everybody in the comments section. Thanks to Indiana Jones. There we go. And of course, we will be live from 4 p.m. for the watch along. Live at 4 p.m. So half an hour of build up before we start. So make sure to join us for that one if you're not going to the game. That's pretty much it. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Mate. Come on, Leicester. Big shout out to the sponsors as well. Match Bingo. Bye-bye. Massive thank you to today's sponsor, Match Bingo. Over 200 grand has been paid out to players so far by taking sports betting, football and bingo and combining them into one amazing app. Make sure to get your bingo card for any Leicester City game in the upcoming season. Click that link in the description or via the QR code on screen.